We live in an age where wealth is no longer just a measure of resources, but a relentless scoreboard of our self-worth, constantly flashing before our eyes in bright, anxiety-inducing pixels. Every morning, you wake up not to the sound of birds or the warmth of sunlight, but to the harsh blue light glow of notifications that demand your immediate attention and emotional investment. You check your portfolio with the trembling fingers of a gambler, hoping for green arrows, but fearing the red ones that seem to bleed into your soul. This digital ticker tape has become the pulse of your life, dictating your mood, your energy, and even your sense of identity based on forces you cannot control. We have been conditioned to believe that financial success is a sprint, a frantic race against time and other people, where stopping means falling behind and losing everything. But this constant state of alertness is not a strategy. It is a slow-acting poison that erodes your mental clarity and replaces rational decision-making with primal fear. Imagine standing in the middle of a hurricane, trying to catch every raindrop in a bucket. You will get wet, you will get tired, and you will catch nothing of value. This is how most people approach the market, reacting to every gust of wind, every shift in sentiment, and every headline designed to provoke a reaction rather than inform a decision. The noise is deafening, a cacophony of experts shouting conflicting advice, algorithms trading in microseconds, and social media influencers selling dreams wrapped in debt. In this chaos, you feel small, insignificant, and utterly powerless, as if you are a leaf caught in a torrential river, drifting wherever the current takes you. But what if I told you that the river does not care about your fears, and the storm does not respect your anxieties? The market is an indifferent beast, neither good nor evil, simply a mechanism of exchange that reflects the collective emotions of millions of distracted minds. When you tie your inner peace to these external fluctuations, you are handing over the keys to your happiness to strangers who do not know you and do not care about you. You are building your house on sand, waiting for the tide to come in and wash away your foundations. The Stoics understood this truth thousands of years ago, long before stock exchanges or digital wallets existed. They saw that the pursuit of external goods, when disconnected from internal virtue, leads only to slavery. Epictetus, a man who owned nothing but his own mind, taught us that we suffer not from events themselves, but from our judgment of them. When you see your net worth drop, you do not suffer from the loss of money. You suffer from your belief that you should have more, or that you are less because you have less. This judgment is a choice, a habitual reflex that can be unlearned and replaced with a deeper, more resilient perspective. True wealth begins not with the accumulation of assets, but with the realization that you are not your assets. You are the observer of your assets, the manager of your reactions, and the architect of your own tranquility. By stepping back from the screen, by silencing the noise, you begin to see the market for what it truly is, a series of opportunities and risks, not a verdict on your worth. This shift in perspective is not passive, it is an active, disciplined reclaiming of your cognitive sovereignty. It is the decision to stop being a victim of circumstance and start being a master of your own mind. When you stop chasing the wind, you finally stand still enough to feel the ground beneath your feet. And on that solid ground, you can begin to build something that no market crash can destroy. This is the first step, the hardest step, but also the most liberating step you will ever take. It requires courage to ignore the crowd, to walk away from the frenzy, and to trust in your own reasoned judgment. It requires the strength to say no to the impulse, wait to the emotion, and think to the panic. This is not about becoming cold or unfeeling. It is about becoming clear, focused, and unshakable. It is about finding the eye of the storm, where everything is calm, quiet, and perfectly clear. Here, in this space of stillness, you will find the power to make decisions that are not driven by fear, but by logic. You will find the freedom to act, not react. And in that freedom, you will discover the true nature of wealth. It is not a number on a screen. It is the peace of mind that comes from knowing you are in control of the only thing that truly matters, yourself. So, take a deep breath. Let go of the need to know what happens next. Accept the uncertainty as the natural state of things and prepare yourself for the next step, which is not about changing the world, but about changing how you see it. This is the Stoic way, the path of the wise, the road to genuine, unshakable prosperity.
Evil. Now that we have cleared the fog of emotional reactivity, we must build a structure that can withstand the inevitable storms of economic life. This structure is not made of brick or steel, but of two powerful mental models, the dichotomy of control and premeditatio malorum. These are not abstract philosophical concepts, they are practical tools, sharp and precise, designed to cut through confusion and anchor you in reality. The dichotomy of control is the foundation, the bedrock upon which all rational action is built. It asks you to draw a clear, unyielding line between what is up to you and what is not. Your efforts, your research, your savings rate, your investment strategy, and your character are within your control. The market's performance, interest rates, inflation, political decisions, and the opinions of others are not. Most financial stress comes from blurring this line, from trying to control the uncontrollable and neglecting the controllable. When you worry about the Fed's next move, you are wasting energy on a variable you cannot influence. When you obsess over a stock's daily price, you are focusing on noise rather than signal. But when you focus on your asset allocation, your risk management, and your long-term vision, you are exercising true power. This shift transforms anxiety into agency. It turns helplessness into purposeful action. You stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What is the best response to this situation?" This is the mindset of the general, not the soldier, the architect, not the bricklayer. But preparation alone is not enough. You must also prepare for failure. This is where premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils, comes into play. It sounds pessimistic, but it is actually the ultimate form of optimism. By visualizing the worst-case scenarios, you rob them of their power to surprise and paralyze you. Imagine losing 50% of your portfolio overnight. Feel the initial shock, the tightening in your chest, the urge to sell. Now, breathe. Ask yourself, will I survive this? Will I have food? Will I have shelter? Will I have my health and my family? The answer is almost always yes. By facing the fear head-on, you realize that the catastrophe is not fatal, it is manageable. You create a mental fire drill so that when the alarm really goes off, you do not panic, you execute. You have already lived through the disaster in your mind, so in reality, it is just a procedure. This practice builds emotional calluses, thickening your skin against the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune. It allows you to look at a market crash not as a tragedy, but as a test of your discipline. It transforms volatility from a threat into an opportunity. While others are selling in fear, you are buying with confidence because you knew this day might come.
You are prepared. You are ready. This is the difference between the amateur and the professional, the gambler and the investor. The amateur hopes for the best. The professional prepares for the worst. And in doing so, the professional often achieves the best. This architectural approach to wealth is slow, unglamorous, and often boring. It does not offer quick riches or overnight success. It offers something far more valuable: sustainability. It builds a fortress that can endure decades of economic cycles, wars, pandemics, and crises. It is built on the principle that survival is the prerequisite for success. You cannot compound wealth if you are wiped out by a single mistake. You cannot enjoy prosperity if you are destroyed by stress. So, you build slowly, carefully, and deliberately. You diversify not just your assets, but your sources of happiness. You invest in skills, relationships, and health, knowing that these are assets that cannot be taxed, inflated, or stolen. You create a life that is robust, anti-fragile, and deeply rooted. This is the Stoic definition of wealth, not the amount you have, but the little you need. When you need little, you are free. When you are free, you are powerful. And when you are powerful, you can weather any storm. This is the architecture of resilience. It is not built in a day, but it lasts a lifetime. It is the shield that protects your mind and the sword that cuts through illusion. Wield it wisely, and you will never be poor, no matter what the market does. For you will possess the one thing that truly matters: the unshakable knowledge that you are enough, exactly as you are, right now.
Having built the structure, we must now inhabit it, living out the principles of Stoicism in our daily financial decisions. This is the practice of detachment, not from money itself, but from the emotional grip it has on us. Money is a preferred indifferent, a tool that is useful but not essential to our moral character or happiness. We prefer to have it, for it allows us to help others, pursue our interests, and live with comfort. But we do not need it to be virtuous, to be kind, or to be at peace. This distinction is crucial. When you view money as a tool, you use it. When you view it as a master, it uses you. The Stoic investor uses money with intention, aligning their spending and investing with their values. They do not buy things to impress others, for they know that opinion is outside their control. They do not hoard wealth out of fear, for they know that security is an illusion. Instead, they circulate wealth with purpose, using it to create value, support their community, and enhance their lives. This creates a healthy relationship with money, one based on gratitude and responsibility rather than greed and fear. It allows you to enjoy wealth without being enslaved by it. You can lose it all tomorrow and still be happy, because your happiness was never tied to it in the first place. This is the ultimate freedom, the liberation from the hedonic treadmill that keeps most people running in circles. But how do we maintain this detachment in a world that screams for our attention? Through the daily practice of reflection and mindfulness. Each evening, take a moment to review your day. Did you act with wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance? Did you let emotion drive your decisions, or did you let reason guide you? Did you spend money on things that mattered, or on things that merely distracted you? This nightly audit is not about guilt, it is about improvement. It is about sharpening your moral compass and aligning your actions with your ideals. Over time, this practice becomes automatic. You begin to spot emotional triggers before they hijack your brain.
You begin to see opportunities for virtue in every financial transaction. You begin to understand that true wealth is not accumulated in a bank account, but in the quality of your character. This is the legacy of the Stoics, a legacy that transcends time and culture. It is a call to live a life of meaning, purpose, and integrity. It is a reminder that we are mortal, that our time is short, and that our choices matter. In the end, we will not be remembered for our net worth, but for our net impact. Did we leave the world better than we found it? Did we treat others with fairness and compassion? Did we live with courage and wisdom? These are the questions that matter, and Stoicism provides the framework to answer them with a resounding yes. So, as you build your wealth, do not forget to build your soul. Do not let the pursuit of gold blind you to the beauty of the present moment. Do not let the noise of the market drown out the voice of your conscience. Stay grounded, stay focused, stay virtuous. For in the end, virtue is the only true good, and it is the only thing that is truly yours. Everything else is on loan from fortune and can be taken away at any moment. But your character, your integrity, and your peace of mind are yours forever. Protect them fiercely, nurture them daily, and let them be the foundation of your wealth. This is the Stoic way. This is the path to true prosperity, and it is open to anyone who is willing to walk it. So, take the first step today. Define what is in your control, prepare for the worst, and act with virtue. The rest will follow, not because the universe owes you anything, but because you have aligned yourself with the natural order of things. And in that alignment, you will find not just wealth, but wisdom, not just success, but serenity, not just a life of having, but a life of being. This is the promise of Stoicism, and it is a promise that is kept every single day by those who choose to live it. So choose wisely, choose well, and choose to be free. For freedom is the greatest wealth of all, and it is waiting for you right here, right now, in the present moment. All you have to do is reach out and take it, with your mind, with your heart, and with your hands. Go forth and build, not just a portfolio, but a life of meaning, a life of purpose, a life of peace. This is your journey, this is your story, and it begins now.